live again. We're gonna start over after some technical difficulties. So, Kevin, let's talk about what we were arguing about before about showers in the morning
Yeah.
versus showers in the evening. And you were talking about how if you work out, then you're gonna get dirty, and I agree. But normally you're gonna take a shower after anyway. I'm talking about not taking a shower just before bed, because you're going to get your blood going, and then you won't be able to sleep properly, right? Whereas if you take it in the morning, it kind of wakes you up, right, with all the water. So, but you're saying in the Chinese way it should be before bed, and then Western way is in the morning. I don't know. If I,
Yeah, but I don't usually know if Western people don't take a shower at night. Like for example, like in the regular weekday, right?
Yeah.
They didn't work out, they didn't go to the gym, but then they come home and cook dinner and have dinner, right? So what I'm saying is that during the day when you were out, right, you probably caught a lot of dust from your hair, your face, and the germ as well. You sweat a little bit, right? So it would make sense that you wash it off before you go to bed, just like you brush your teeth, right,
yeah,
and wash your face at the minimum, right?
yeah. How many times do you brush your teeth though? You
I brush my teeth in the morning and
Yeah.
and at night,
At night.
but some people do after every meal, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to
Yeah.
if you're extremely
But
care about your teeth. So, but that's just one thing, right? And also, I think from the East, the belief is that you believe in the chi, right? Like how your energy flow, because your energy flow it's different from time to time. Like by the time you wake up and by the time you go to bed, so your energy during the day will vary, like the energy level, right? So okay, so logically, right? So
yeah.
let's say after a night of rest, it's basically it's a recovery process for human body, right?
Right.
So then usually that during the night, there's actually a very specific description on when and how each organs work to clean up your body. For example, the liver, right? It normally works at start working at 11 o'clock at night when you go to bed. So if you don't go to bed, during that time you're still using that, like you still up and doing work, right? So that means you actually not allowing that process to kick in, but it's actually doing double work, right? So that's why doing pulling the all niners is not good for you,
Okay.
right? And also like and your liver and your lung and supposed to be kicking at around 4 a.m. in the morning to check your breathing system, right? So and every organ they have their orders during the night during that the process. So that's why you normally hear people will start coughing if they have a problem with the lung, right? So usually cough in the morning. That's because it's like a check. It's like a mind check, right? So after all that process, and in the morning the sun goes up, right? So I believe that our human body is no different than whatever is outside because we follow the same rhythm, right? So at that time, the energy in your body, it's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Like it should be the best. You should be in the best um, stage.
Okay.
Like the energy should be peaking at that time. Not exactly, but I think it's around 10 a.m. in the morning. You have the best energy, of the day.
Yeah.
So in that sense, see when your energy goes up during that time, and then you take a shower. You take a shower with water, right? See how water does it to you because you kill the fire with water. So your energy is almost like the fire going in your body,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you put water in it. What's gonna happen,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
This
So
what
that's
you're talking
the
about
East, the belief from the East.
Yes.
The
Because I
chi.
remember my mom talking about
Yes.
this. Too much something hay or something like that. Eat hay.
Yeah, it
When you
means
eat
like
certain foods, right? Like is it lychee? You eat too much
yeah,
lychee?
lychee is supposed to because it's like it belongs to the category of fire.
Okay.
So if you like take in the fire, it actually add on to you. Same thing as ginger, right? Because it's spicy. So that actually belong to the category of fire. And then when you go to that, if you we may need to explain that system, like the five element of in that belief, right?
Well, I've heard the five elements. I wonder if there's a more scientific reason than just fire, earth,
It's yeah,
wood.
because it's different from the scientific. If you talk about explain that in scientific, maybe like deep down, maybe they're the same. But then at the higher level, it's more as like abstract or level of looking at things at this physical universe, right?
Okay.
So maybe it is because I think if you look at the all the elements that how they interact and relate to each other, it's about temperature change. That means it relates to the energy,
Which is why,
right?
would they say you shouldn't drink too much cold water
Yes.
or ice water?
Yes, ice water because they believe all you're in the system, right? You need heat. You need normal temperature. That's why your body remain in 37.5 degree throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
No matter what, because I mean, if you go up higher or lower, you're gonna be in trouble.
But when it's a hot day, isn't a ice drink really nice to have? Slush? Or
Yes, so at that time, like
smoothie?
it's almost like you try to put out the fire in your body because it
Yeah.
gets hot. If
Yeah.
it's too hot, it's not good, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you drinking cold, ice cold water in there. It's like a dramatic way to put out the fire.
Okay.
But there's a proper way to do it, right?
What's
You
the
just have
proper
to
way?
cool down slowly, but not like all of a sudden. For example,
So if it's
if
hot
you-
and I'm
if you-
sweating like crazy, I
Yes.
shouldn't drink ice
Well-
cold water?
it feels good, yes, but then there's consequence to that, right? So it's almost like you got a fire going, like for example in a campfire, right? It's going really well, but you pour a bucket of water in there. What's gonna happen? It makes that noise like the fire goes out,
Okay.
right? It's like that.
So what if you
But if
have
you
a,
slowly, like somehow, take the woods away, right,
Yeah.
and then it will slowly go down.
So what if you have a fever? What do you do in China?
So if you have a fever in
Just
China,
naturally let
you
it-
just rub alcohol, like high content alcohol in your body, just take the
For
heat away.
evaporation.
Just the evaporation to take the heat away, right? Because what it is like, because the fever, the process is actually your body's defense system kicks in, right? It try to set a fire to burn the virus, whatever it is, like inflammation or whatever, right? Same thing, inflammation is actually you feels hot in those area, right? You feels hot because that's a fire going on. It's a symbolic fire. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor, right? It's so, but you get the idea of what it means, like fire, earth, wood, all that, right? So they're all related to each other. They kind of like relate and then interact and affect each other.
Do you take any Tylenol? Do you ever take any Advil?
I take Tylenol, but
Okay.
I taken it knowing that it has a side effect. I know it's only to stop the pain, to stop feeling the pain, but not getting rid of the pain. It has a side effect. It has actually very heavy on your liver,
Yeah.
right? So I
So
mean,
but you're-
sometimes
but-
if you feel so pain that you cannot take it anymore, it's a relief. It's a relief,
But why
right.
don't you relieve the pain?
but it's not gonna cure
right.
your pain.
But why don't you relieve pain the Chinese way?
You really should wait Chinese pain as well, because if you know how.
How?
I know there's a guy like he do acupuncture, right?
Okay.
That I saw it firsthand. I'm not like hearing from anybody else. I was in visiting that the Chinese friend. He's a Chinese medicine doctor, right?
Yeah.
He practiced Chinese medicine. So that girl came in. I think she's in her teen ages, like around 18, 19 years old, right? And she complained she had a migraine pain in her head, just one side, right? So my friend is just look at her, okay, just give me a hand, right? Put out a needle and just stick the needle in here. One time, release, two time, release, and then ask, are you okay? You say, oh, all good now. The pain is gone.
I've had acupuncture
Because
before.
I think there's a theory around that, on that too, right? Because the blood that came out, it's black, right?
Yeah.
It's probably from the vein, but not
Yeah.
like the, right?
I've had acupuncture before. I'm looking at it, and I don't know about you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we talk about East versus West. I've experienced both because being Chinese Canadian, like I think we need both. We need the Western medicine and the Chinese medicine.
Yeah. So I don't know enough about the Western medicine because I think
But you take
the
Western medicine already.
Yeah, in some case, like because it's effective, like because it's straight. But there's a difference, right? I'm not saying which one it's more effective and good, but there's a fundamental difference, because I think that the Western medicine, it's looking at our human body, not as the entire system. It's almost like you take your car to the shop. It's like, okay, and you say, oh, I hear a voice in your engine. Maybe there's a problem with the engine. I'm gonna swap off the engine, right?
Yeah.
It's like that for the Western medicine. So, but it don't care. It doesn't care like what caused that noise, right? It just say, hey, there's a problem here. I just look at this, but not as the whole, because the Chinese medicine, I think fundamental principle is that it's actually trying to keep your body in balance in terms of the energy and the qi. So what qi is, that it's actually it's almost like when the system is running. For example, your physical body, right? It's supposed to run in perfect condition, because if you're born normal, right? You kind of like, you're fed properly, you grow up properly, and all your organs and parts is working well together, and you should not have any problem.
Yeah.
But only that balance is broken. So for example, you eating too much lychee, because
Okay.
that belongs to the fire element.
Okay.
So when you do that, right, you break that balance in your system.
Right.
And once the balance is broken, it will manifest in one way or the other. And sometimes it would be like, oh, you have a sore throat, right? A sinus effect, or
Right.
whatever. That just a sign. It's just the consequence of that balance being broken,
Yeah.
right? So Chinese medicine is actually more on how to keep the balance. It look at your human body as a whole. It's just, it is the entire system. It's not just, oh, this part and then that's that. It looks at how it all work with each other. They keep it in balance.
Yeah.
Because even all your organs is actually categorized into like fire, gold, wood, water, whatever it is, because they all belong to different category, and somehow they work nicely. But once they working nicely in balance, you'll be in good health. Your energy would running at the peak stage.
Okay.
That's how it is, right? But Western medicine is all about digestion, dissection, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like it's like, well, let's cut out a human body when the body is dead, right? It's like, oh, there's this brain here, there's this cell, and there's this and that, right? You come up with all sorts of theory and say, when there's a problem here, yeah, we can do this. Like for example, like in the past, right? And see people, oh, they're mental problem. Let's just cut part of their frontal lobe,
Okay. Okay. That's
and then they'll fix the problem,
Yes, I
because
know.
that the problem comes from there.
yeah. And I
Right.
learned this in university when I took my psychology courses. Yes, those were the lobotomies.
Yeah.
Uh,
But that's how medicine approach problems.
sure.
Right.
No. Of course, we've evolved from that. Those are experiments. Those
Yes.
are you have to learn, right?
Yeah.
So when they did the spike through the eye and hit something in the
Mm-hmm.
brain to stop seizures, or they severed the hemispheres in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
brain, and it worked. But like anything, and I don't think Eastern medicine is any different. You evolve, you make mistakes, you try different things, and unfortunately, some people were the what do you call it? They have to survive these procedures, right? But they worked for a lot of them. Some of them stopped seizures.
No, I know.
Right.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just
Yeah.
that work in different way.
Well, it
and then,
worked,
and then
but-
how much a side effect it has.
But-
Right?
exactly.
Like so for example, they cut off. Okay, like just, oh, you have problem with your kidney. Let's take one kidney out. It works, wouldn't it? Like
Yeah.
that kidney stop acting out.
Yeah.
And then you only have one other kidney. Then what? You don't have enough energy throughout the day.
But I'd
Maybe
like to
just half
know
of it.
how many people in China die because you didn't take the kidney out because it said that it's going to just figure itself out. No, it doesn't, right?
No,
You-
see that's the thing. It's like it's a more dramatic approach to do that, because we don't know. Like maybe you take a kidney out, you may live as long as you would, right? But in China, like yeah, people die from kidney maybe in the older age, right? But they use Chinese medicine to maintain that balance, right? It keep them longer. We
Yeah.
don't know, right?
Yeah.
We don't know, right?
So if Chinese medicine is so good,
Because
then
China-
why in China do you have Western?
It's a mix
type of
because
hospital.
we see effectiveness. That's why it's difficult to pinpoint which one is better
Okay.
and which one is worse, which one has more side effect,
Yeah.
which one is better.
Yeah.
But the fundamental idea of the Western medicine
Yeah.
and East medicine, it's the fundamental approach.
Well, I think
and then
I
the
think
way
they need to
look
go
at,
hand in hand though, because
well, that's why there's a hospital in China. They do actually
yes,
go
I
hand
heard
in hand.
about this one. Yeah.
Because what they do is that they actually diagnose you with the Western method. Like, okay, they do ultrasound and then they do blood test, and then they find out, oh, what the problem is. Like, oh, maybe there's inflammation somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they don't use Western medicine to treat you. So when they find out that problem, they use East medicine, herbal
Sure,
medicine,
sure.
to treat you. That's how they do it.
I completely
some of the
agree
hospitals
because
in
I
China.
remember one time I had terrible stomachache and I tried
Yes.
some Western stuff.
Yeah.
And then they had those. Do you know it's like a vial with a bunch of little balls.
Yeah.
Pochi, is it? I can't remember. Pochi balls or something like that.
Yeah,
And
because
and then when I had these little balls, these pills in this vial, I was almost instantly feeling better.
oh, I think that one is Bo Jai Yun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a very effective Chinese medicine.
Super effective. I
Super
don't know
effective.
what's in it.
Yeah,
Tastes
it's
terrible.
all herbal medicine. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all herbal medicine.
Yeah.
It's not like genetically altered or like chemical ingredient to it. It's pure
Yeah.
herbal.
But then there's also some crazy stuff out there. So you have the was it like the deer antler or whatever, the velvet.
The deer antler.
You
Yeah.
have like we always joke about like donkey penis, right? But you also have they grind that stuff up and then so that you can feel more powerful, right? But they've already proven
Some of them it's placebo effect.
yes, but they've already proven it's not nearly as effective as let's say Viagra, right?
Yeah, well, they also have that too, like in
Yeah.
a different form, but
Yeah.
it's not the same as like Viagra is just like factory made, right?
But then,
They just have
if
some
the more you
natural-
the more you kill the rhinos and whatever, just so that you can make a powder, so that you can feel more virile, that's bad for the environment. It's bad for
No, you don't know,
yeah.
but actually they take the tiger
yeah.
peanut.
So,
you eat that, you're supposed to get
but if
strong
you
for the
can if you
man.
can get it
Oh,
from Viagra, and you don't
oyster.
have to kill a tiger.
Oyster, right?
Okay.
Oyster, same thing. Because you oyster actually, from what I see, oyster is actually
Yeah.
because actually has some ingredient there that actually make good for men in that department,
Okay.
right? So that actually proven to be effective,
But
right?
But let's say if you have an alternative method where you don't have to kill an animal, and I'm not against like I mean, I like to hunt, right? But why do you have to kill a tiger when you could just take a pill?
No, I know. Yeah. So I think then if you ask this question, then also why do you need to kill a cow to get beef? Same
No,
thing,
no,
right?
no, it's
Isn't
not
it
the same. No,
why
it's
why
not the
is it
same.
different?
Because for killing a cow, you're
Oh
like,
yeah, you accepted that.
we're-
That's our daily diet. We eat
we're
beef.
omnivore, so we can eat. We need meat, right? Well, I
So
think
tiger meat, same thing. Why would be a tiger different?
But there's
that's a joke.
alternative meats.
I know. No, it's
More
it's not.
sustainable
It's not,
meats.
not sustainable, but you can raise tiger if
Cow-
you want.
Well,
Right?
what? No, the
Yeah, you-
gestation period, the amount of
Yeah,
meat
so
that you get from a cow is
there's
more.
subtle different there, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying they are animals. There's actually one joke. This guy like he's very funny. There's this farmer in China. Oh, he used a monkey to pick the coconut from a tree, right?
Okay.
And the monkey's happy, like the monkey's good at climbing the tree and pick up the coconut, right? And then he had this horse, carry the coconut home. And on his way home, he got caught by a police.
Okay.
And the police say, "Hey, why are you using that monkey to work for you? It's animal abuse." You see where I'm trying to get at?
No.
And the monkey was shocked. Like, I'm happy doing this. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I'm getting fed, after my work because my master
Yeah.
come home would give me good food, like, bananas probably, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but why are you saying he's violating the animal law? Say, yeah, that's animal abuse, right? So at that moment, the horse turned around, like, look at me. Am I not an animal? Isn't that abuse?
No,
But why is that?
But think about.
So see,
But,
that's
but
exactly
think about dogs, Kevin.
no, no,
Dogs.
exactly the
Okay.
point
So
here, right?
so are we supposed to just let the dogs run crazy in your house? You need to teach it the rules, and when you say, "Hey,
Yeah,
dog,
because I
come
think
here," like isn't that treating it like a slave almost too? Well, I don't think so. It's like your kids, right? Oh, do the dishes, do this, clean up your room. Are we then making them slaves? No, I don't think so. That's part of what do you call it? Society.
your interaction. Oh yes, see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You accept it. That you means that oh this is acceptable. That is not. So the story
Based on
that I just
societal
told you.
norms, right?
The norm.
We're used to it here, but let's say in China, okay, I hate this one where they have the Yulin Dog Festival where they eat the dog meat and whatever,
Yeah.
because they said it's good for you or something, it warms you up.
Yeah, it's some medical yeah, so
Yeah.
some actually different part like
Yeah.
even just for beef, right? Steak. You have steak. You feel more energetic right away because there's like raw
Sure.
blood, whatever
Yeah,
they have
yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
you know raw
Yeah.
ingredients or
Yeah.
minerals that
Yeah.
you need,
Yeah.
like, you know, or protein, right?
Yeah.
It's the fastest way to get protein, you know, for human, right? It's not like you're eating salad and you, for all of a sudden you feel powerful unless it's spinach, right? You know how Popeye
Sure, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
feels. But the story that I've just told you is that why do we have double standard against the monkey and the horse, right? Because it's almost become accepted. You accepted that oh the horse is supposed to haul things because that's what he's good at, but then it's acceptable. We accept it for the longest time in the history, in human history, because we deemed it that oh horses should do this. Other than that, what else can do?
Yeah.
Right. Let's just put it to good use. But is it good for the horse? Right? No, I don't think so. But then,
do you know?
but then when you see the monkey, well, the monkey is good at picking the
No,
coconut.
okay, well,
but
let's
then
use-
you say, hey, you abusing the animal.
Let's add
Right,
to
it's
the
animal
example.
based.
You know some of the dogs that are work dogs.
Yes.
And they love to work.
Yes. Oh,
Oh.
how do you know they love to work?
Huskies, because they're super happy when
No,
they're out in the
but
snow and they're doing
don't they
hard
be
work.
more happier than they don't need to like
No,
and-
literally they will go crazy. Like German Shepherds, Huskies, they'll go crazy if they don't have something to do.
So you're saying they it's what they born to do. So
Depends on the breed.
yeah, well, okay, yeah, depend on the breed. That isn't monkey that it's like they're good at climbing the tree and picking the coconut.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that's what they're good at. They're
Yeah,
happy doing
and
it.
they're happy doing it. It's just
But
like you and me.
why the police say, oh, you're violating
But
the animal
here-
law?
this is the
even
problem.
even nowadays, like
There's-
the animal in the circuit,
But
right?
you're saying double standard. I don't think it's multiple standards. So for example, what's good for you may not be good for me, right? We're different type of people,
Right.
right? Like
So see, it's all subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is no fair point of view, on all these animals. Because if you look at animal is the animal. You cannot say, oh, he's good at this, and because he's good looking. But yeah, you say, oh, a panda. Oh, the panda looks so cute. What does the panda do for you? It's just because it look cute, and then you say, oh, we should keep the panda around, and maybe you look at the Hyades. He look hideous.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why we should kill them. Why is that?
But this
Right?
when we circle,
Because it's subjected to your liking.
But-
Right? I like this. Oh, it looks so cute. That's why we should be nice to the panda. But the hyena, oh, it look hideous. We should just limit them. It gross me out.
I think there's pros and cons. Like if we circle back to the whole showering debate,
Yes.
right? Isn't there's pros and cons between showering at night versus showering in the morning?
I don't see any showering in the morning will bring any cons. What is the cons? Are you dirty? Like you sweating at night? If you
Oh,
do,
Well, I shower
then
in the
yes.
morning.
But if it's just a regular practice,
Yeah.
then I don't know. It tells me something.
Well, I shower in the morning. There's no cons.
Well,
And then
because
if I
it's a
get-
habit.
Actually, okay, it
But
depends.
what is a
So if I-
scientific?
no,
What is a
Kevin, stop,
scientific
stop. Let me
condition?
let me finish my point. So if I shower in the morning,
Yes.
But if I go out and work out or do something sweaty,
Yeah.
then I shower when I get back home, right? But I don't have a ritual of just showering at night, showering at
Yeah,
night.
I'm
showering
saying
at
you
night.
caught all the dust in your face. You don't
Yeah.
see it. It's there. You caught the germs. in your hair, in your face. It's like in your body.
But if you didn't do anything that day,
Well, you still breathe because you don't see those,
okay. But
right?
there, I have another thought on that too, because
Yeah.
I do think that you can't always have like antibacterial and over sanitized, because it's been proven that your body doesn't get used to resisting germs.
So you mean you cohabit, like, okay, yeah, let's just slip in a dome where it's actually very, very dirty,
Oh,
full
okay.
of germs. You
You know,
can
I-
coexist
I have-
with the germs and then make you even stronger.
I
Like the
don't-
homeless people, you can see them all. They never shower. They smells bad. Like probably they have tons of germ bacteria with them. They carry thousands and millions of germs
But
when
isn't
they
it
walk
amazing?
around.
They can
It
still
is
live
amazing.
out there.
Actually, the doctor is saying they're actually they're actually healthier than the regular person, than all of
okay,
us.
We won't name him.
They barely need to go
Kevin.
to the hospital.
We won't name him. We share the same accountant, right?
Yeah.
Well, I won't say his name.
Yeah, yeah.
But one time he told me about, like, with India, and they have, the is it the Ganges River, which is the one in India? Ganges, right? And people swim in the Ganges.
Oh,
they
they
shit
drink
in
the water.
Ganges. They drink the water
because the body's flowing in
and
that
he,
river.
He told me, he said, "Isn't it amazing that people don't get sick from it?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I think I would get sick because I'm not used to it.
Exactly.
If I touched it or
Exactly.
drank from the river, I'd probably die. I don't know."
And I think this thing. So okay, see that's the thing, right? If you need to live in that kind of environment, right, then you must learn how to adapt to that environment. That's what I'm saying. That's why they can just shower, clean themselves, even drink a drink of water, where what we consider very, very dirty water, because it's full of bacteria and germs in that water.
Yeah.
But why can they survive? Because I think they already
How can
adapt to
how can
that.
we survive in Edmonton? It's so cold, and some people will say, "Oh my God, I would die if I was like living in Edmonton."
It's yeah. The weather in Edmonton is severe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. But
Yeah.
then you it's okay. And if you just come here for a while and then you get used to it,
Yeah.
right? You probably have to
When you
build
went
your,
back to China, do you
your body
notice-
fat, so then you can more resistant to cold.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how you get used to it. Because I think what I'm seeing here is that the kids grow up here, right? Because they used to the weather. Why they used to the weather? Because when they grow up, they don't actually wear a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, I don't know, it's become a habit, or they kind of like get used to the environment.
Yeah.
Get used to the cold.
Yeah.
So they don't feel as cold as the people from, like, for example, the tropical area. When they travel to Canada, right? All of a sudden, even like when it's 15-degree outside, it's so cold. They have to wear the hoodies and jackets and whatnot, right? But kids grow up here in -10 degrees. They're just wearing t-shirts.
Yeah.
There's people looking at us like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But why is it crazy? Because Canadians here, they're used to the
That's
weather
right.
here.
That's right. So that's
Same thing as the people in India.
Yeah.
Why they can
but that's why-
live with that river.
That's why
it's part of the environment.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what we do in Canada might be different from what is done in China, because it's a different environment, right? So one is not better than the other. We need to adapt to our environment.
But okay, in terms of the shower, is it like that? Is it part of that?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Is it because like it's cold outside, you don't sweat, but it's a clean environment, you don't have a lot of dust? Where, like, for example, there's one time I go back to Hong Kong, right? I visited Hong Kong, right? I was visiting Victoria Harbour.
Yeah.
The air there was so bad. Like, as soon as I've been there for half an hour, my nose
Yeah.
got a lot of mucus
Yes.
and a lot of dust mixed in there too.
Of course.
Right?
That's the body.
So the
protecting
body
itself.
react to that, right?
Yeah.
And then you see, oh, this is so dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you go back to your hotel and take a shower
Of course.
after? Right?
When I'm in Hong Kong,
Right?
or when we were in Mexico, I took a lot of showers because I'm sweating all the time.
Yes. Okay. So that's all good. That's all good. Actually, that's actually another more profound things that I've seen. Right. So shower different. Like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like this. That's because it's cleaner. The air is cleaner, and you don't sweat a lot. You don't. There's no bacteria,
Yeah.
no germ flying around.
Yeah.
Okay. So I give you that one. Right. I give you that one. I give you that one. But then in terms of the energy flow, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing I'm not sure if like the east is different than the west here, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's almost like, oh yeah, the people in the west here, they actually more, it's actually stronger in terms of the physical body. I'm not sure if they grow up eating meat, drinking milk, right? Instead of people like in Asia, like the main dish, it's rice, noodles, and all that, right?
Yep.
So obviously there's difference here, but the end result that we see in here is like, in sports you can see, right? Like in football and NBA, like the people in the West tend to be stronger, and
Yep.
their size is bigger.
When I go back to Asia,
Yeah.
on average, physically, maybe even larger than most Asians back home, right? Or back in China. Because
Depends on where you are. I think the people close to the tropical area,
Yeah.
this body size, height, and weight is supposed to be a little
Yeah.
bit smaller compared to the people
because my
in the north.
in Toisan.
So there's a scientific,
What?
maybe scientific reason there.
When-
In
when-
Toisan, yes. In
when I
Toi-
go back to Hong Kong or Toisan, then I see everybody's kind
yeah,
of like
it's
here,
it's
right?
it's around 170, 175.
Sure.
Even 175 is considered to be a tall person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But in the north, no. Even
Little
even
different.
when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
180,
yeah.
you're supposed that's like average.
Yeah, maybe in the north.
Because
I don't know. That's
in the
genetics,
north,
though, right?
Yet then
Yeah.
again, in the north, the human height is to tend to be taller.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But I really think because
You know how like when you go to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
It's a tropical area. Everybody's like, not even our height,
yeah,
Right?
I think I remember
right?
that. Yeah.
So this is a biological reason there.
no, just on dietary because you notice like for me, I think because I ate so much steak when I was younger and whatever. When I go back, I'm a little like because I'm from. I mean, my family is from tropical area.
Yes, yes.
From Toisan.
So that
and
means you
from-
have the gene.
Yeah.
But then the way you grow up is that you eating
Diet.
more. Your diet
Exactly.
is more on the meat side
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, we have lots of vegetables, fruits,
Yeah.
and some of the stuff. The dietary is different
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
So your physical body, it's built differently, right? Although you have the same gene, right? But then maybe you're used to how it is because then, yes, you had the same gene, but then what your physical body manifests is that you have a bigger size. You and a bigger size,
Yeah.
and not just that, right? And what I've seen over the years is that even the women, when they have a children, they give birth. The next day they can go home and then even the next day they just bring the babies to work and show everybody, hey, look at my, and they seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Where in China, right? Soon as you after the labor, you give birth to a baby, you're supposed to stay home for a month, and you're not even allowed to touch cold water, because if you do, like for example, you wash your hair, your head gets cold all of a sudden, and that will develop health problems down the road. That's been proven. So that's why like the Asian or at least the Chinese people, once they have baby, they're supposed to stay home and just lying in bed and get rest to recover and not doing anything.
Yeah.
So you see there, right? The difference is that it seems like the Chinese lady looks like when they recovered that way, I don't know if not just the health, the appearance, it tend to last longer, like the youth, like they look younger even when they're in the older age. Where I'm not saying like in the Western, certain extent after over 30, right? Before 30, they looks really pretty and beautiful, right? But then after that, it's all downhill.
I think when I listen to these things, it reminds me of when my mom told me all these things you shouldn't do, can't do that.
Yeah.
But you have to discern between, let's say, okay, scientific, maybe there is something to cold water, but to never touch cold water for that whole time, I think that's impossible, or it's become a little bit absurd, right? Maybe not prolonged exposure to cold water. There's got to be some scientific principles. Now,
No.
what happens is sometimes it starts out with a some proof or evidence, but then it gets a little bit into superstition.
See,
Right.
like superstition means that scientifically you cannot prove it, right? But maybe there's a co-relationship in there.
Yep.
But you cannot
Yeah.
paint that into like, oh, that is proof.
Yeah.
But
But it could be
from what we've
coincidence,
seen,
too.
we can only see the comparison. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Could be coincidence too.
could be anything. Could
Yeah,
be anything.
yeah,
but
yeah.
we're only seeing the outcome.
Yeah.
Like your general practice, like
Yeah.
you've seen a bigger a number, like in terms of statistic, right? You see, okay, yeah, people in the 30s tend to look younger. You know how like you can tell the age from Asian people, right? And maybe black people too, right? So then it's like, oh, you don't look your age,
Okay.
right?
Don't look your
Because
age.
they maintain the physical body well and they know how, right? I think there's a certain truth there. I cannot prove it to you like scientifically. Oh, you don't drink cold water, you drink warm water. It's the same temperature as your body, and that will keep you good balance. But once you break that balance and all kind of stuff will gonna manifest. Maybe you
Yeah.
have pimples are gonna break out in your face and all
Yeah.
that. I believe that.
Yeah.
Even if you in stress stage, your pimple will pops up because you're having, I don't know, like hormones and whatever chemical that you produce within you kind of like in a messy state, right? So that's what caused that to manifest right away, actually, when you get stressed. But stress comes from your mental
See,
health.
I've had some people, not everybody, but some people think that they don't believe that I'm 52, right? They think I'm younger than that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, but I don't do any of that shit, that the Chinese stuff and talking about this. I do what I feel, right? I think what keeps people young is having a good outlook on like positive mindset.
Yes, that too. I'm not just
smiling,
saying.
right?
I'm not just saying your life practice. It's the only way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, the mental health is actually a
Huge.
very critical
Yeah.
part of staying young because, like I said, there's this phenomenon, right? There's actually some people's hair would turn gray overnight. Why?
Stress.
Stress, because they get a big shock,
Yeah.
traumatized.
Yeah.
So when you encounter that kind of event in your life,
Yeah.
for example, you gone from a billionaire to bankruptcy. Overnight, your full head of hair will turn gray. Why? Because of stress.
I believe that.
As soon as that happened, like all the chemicals in your body goes haywire.
Yeah. I believe that.
So that caused that to happen,
Yeah.
right?
And
And all of a sudden, like your skin, you look pale, look old, and then you like in a very worse physical form, right?
but it also depends on what mindset you have towards stress. So I don't like certain stress, but I do like some stress because, well, I don't know. I can't even call it stress.
let's
say
put it
there's
that
a
way.
deadline I need to meet.
Yes.
I mentally approach it and say, okay, I need to meet this deadline, and I don't stress myself out over it. I just logically figure things out. Say, how do we meet this deadline, and get it done so that everyone's not rushing and going crazy. And I think to alleviate that kind of stress, preparation, right?
Yes, but I'm saying, okay, let's just talk about stress, but on its own. Yes, I'm saying, I agree that stress has its pros and cons. In your example, exactly, stress would actually push you to get things done.
No, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying that I deal with stress in a different way. I don't let it
Get to you.
me anxious. I don't let it get to me. Yeah. So, and I think preparation. So when we have a big project, many times I'll tell the team, say, okay, let's prepare so that we're not rushing when we're doing the job, because kind of like school.
Yeah.
If you wait until the last few days to study,
Yep.
then you're stressed out because you didn't prepare it. But if you studied, like, let's say, well before the exam, then you wouldn't be stressed out. You just do
Okay,
it.
that's the other thing that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Like stress is not the only way. Like, just get rid of stress. Stress not even in the picture, right? In
You
what
can't
you
get
just
rid of
said.
stress.
Yes, you can. You just don't think that
You don't do anything.
no, you just don't consider that stressful, right? Well, why would that give you a stress? But what causes stress? What is stress? Can you give me a definition?
Well, I mean, relationships can
No,
be stressful.
you just maybe kind of predict that consequence.
So if you give me stress, I just get rid of you. I was like,
No, you don't get rid of me. Okay, but why would I get stress from you? That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
because you don't agree with me all the time.
So what? If I don't agree with you, then your immediate reaction is, oh, I'm stressful because he doesn't agree
Yeah,
with me.
I need to get rid of.
But
you.
what if
It's
like, oh, I'm happy you don't agree with me? That's not even stress.
that could be that.
Yeah,
So that could be something.
it's interesting. It's like interesting to me. I'm just happy that you don't agree with me.
So what
Because
if-
I don't want anybody just, you know, agree with me all the time.
But you know how
But
some
finally,
people,
I find something someone that disagree with me.
some people
I'm
like
happy.
to fight. Some people like to fight, right?
Well, yes, that's your
Debate.
problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You like to fight because you like to keep yourself stressed.
Yeah, I
Isn't
don't.
it?
I don't. I mean, for me, when we talk, I want to find out. Okay, what's our common ground, and let's explore a certain subject. But let's say I don't know. Let's say if you have a girlfriend or your spouse, and some spouses they just like to fight, right? Just for no reason sometimes.
No, not for no reason. Because I think one of the human nature is that the egotistic. They want control. They want dominance in their relationship, right? They always have to win, and that's actually bad for your relationship. But sadly, that's what's going on in most of the.
I think it depends on the
the
person.
marriage.
Let's say if you don't like to fight, you don't like that, then that person might like it. So that's not a good match.
That's not a good match.
Yeah.
But then it's also out of balance. Let's just look at balance in without black and white, without color glasses. Just like balance. What balance means that you find a good match. What is a good match? Means that you like to fight, but I don't. Right? That may be not a good match, right? So maybe you are very you live in harmony. You're a good match for each other. You kind of complement each other. That means that's a good match. That means your relationship is in a good balance.
But it's more complicated than that. Let's say
It is complicated.
Let's say
it
you
doesn't-
know that person's not really a good match, but they're very good looking. Then you're just like, oh well, I can figure it out.
So then it gives you a reason to accept that.
Yeah,
You just sacrifice one thing for the other,
yeah,
right?
But
it's
almost
it's
like
a trade off.
It's a honey trap. So let's say,
It's honey trap, but it's a trade off. But
Yeah.
you willing to sacrifice or willing to trade that.
No, but what happens is you let's say you get married because say
Most
okay,
of the time you cannot get it all. You
Yeah.
just say, hey, this is the
But
thing.
what's
that I
more
want.
important though? Getting along or being attracted?
Depends on what you want. Because I think what
Long term.
Yes, long. Okay, now you're talking about more rational discussion, right? But in our younger age, we don't know what we want when we get married,
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
right? So maybe we look at the girl,
Beauty.
she's beauty,
Yes.
good looking. That's actually what I want all my life. I just want to, have her,
Yeah.
own something like
Yeah.
that, or someone like that be with me,
Yeah.
and that's all I want at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But you never realize that what you know when you're in your 40s or 50s,
Mm-hmm.
after you experience 20, 30 years of marriage, and you look back, say, hey, beauty does not really matter
Mm-hmm.
in this long-term relationship. Because when you have a family, you grow a family, and you try to hold on to your career, you build your career, and then fulfill your dream, and whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? And when you experience all that, when you look back, beauty does not really matter,
Yes. I agree.
right?
I know.
But when you're at a younger age, you don't know that.
Yeah. Well, I know a
You
guy.
don't know that.
I know a guy.
Because all you go, like all your education, all what you hear in the book they read, the movie that you watch,
Yeah.
the YouTube videos, they say,
Yeah.
oh, beauty, yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted this. Everybody wants like,
But I know a guy. He's not even that young, and he went after a pretty good looking girl after.
oh, now I know
Yeah.
some guys they just want good looking women all their life,
Yeah.
because they into like that, right? They
Can't
like that.
control himself. He used to
Yeah, yeah.
he used to rent an office from
Yeah.
me in my old showroom, and Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how some people are, right?
He thinks with
Because
his other
that's a
head.
lifelong pursuit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
he doesn't care,
No,
like
but,
if he
but
have an intimate relationship or is have a good marriage relationship, a
yeah.
good marriage life.
But you're
He's
telling
not
me.
putting that as a priority.
You're telling
His
me.
priority is pursue like a good
Kevin,
looking lady.
you're telling me this guy we both know.
Yeah.
Right. He's smart. He understands everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yet he still did it.
See, that's the thing, right? Because I think I cannot explain that. It's some psychological.
So something
there's
turned
some-
off his brain.
Yes,
And then he
Yes.
still did
Yes.
something contradictory to what he
that's
believes.
right. Because he put that as a priority.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know why.
Animal instinct.
Could be.
Yeah.
Like okay, yeah, it's like, that's why some people are more.
And do you think it'll happen again for this guy that we
It
both
will.
know?
It
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
It will.
It would be difficult to
Yeah.
change. It would be very difficult for it to
So
change.
he can't be changed. You just
Very difficult.
yeah.
Very difficult.
So the best way is for him not to be around women at all.
Well, that's why there's a Western practice, right? Like they inject, they
Oh,
just,
you
like,
need the
bring down the
injection?
hormone level, right? Like
The
if you're a sex
chemical
offender,
chemical castration.
chemical castration.
You want
to
that?
bring down the
sorry, this guy should
I'm,
have
no, I'm
that?
not commenting on that, right?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
there's this practice if
Yeah.
you're a sex offender, right?
Okay.
So the what the government do is that they inject the chemical castration, and to try to bring it down, like
Yeah.
just calm you down, right?
Yeah.
Because they think, oh, it's an animal instinct. You produce too much
Yeah.
of this hormone
But
that,
what
that
about-
drive you crazy.
Exactly. But what about the man? It doesn't have to be a sex offender. What if some guy just keeps creating families, right?
Yes, that's just crazy.
Isn't that bad
This is
for
a
the
this is a
environment?
desire, like Elon Musk, right?
Yeah. Isn't that bad for society?
He's one good example. No,
And this guy, I
you
know,
can say, well, okay, yeah. Other than moral,
yeah. But this guy, I
What-
know he's
what
one
wrong
of the,
does he do?
He's one
Nothing.
of the smartest guys I know.
because that's what he want to do.
but
And he's not
it's
breaking
not
the law.
logical though.
It's not but to us, it's not
Yeah.
logical. But to
Yeah.
him, he just want to propagate.
Maybe he shouldn't propagate.
Yeah. No, he should. He's smart, right?
Yeah,
he
he's
think,
smart, he's
he
smart,
think he
he's
has good gene. He should
Yeah.
pass on the good gene for the good of the mankind.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't
Right?
know. I mean, I don't know how smart he is. He believes in some strange things. So
Yeah, we think he believes in some strange
Yeah,
thing, yes, but to him, right? If he's not breaking the law, he does not care about moral.
Mm-hmm.
Then what else is stopping him?
money going.
Well,
broke.
he has money. He's the richest man on earth.
Oh wait, are we talking about Elon,
Elon
Musk
Musk.
still? Oh, okay. I was talking about our other friend.
Okay, so forget about the other friend because he does not have.
doesn't have
he's
enough
not at the same level as Elon
So,
Musk.
so then, should he still propagate like Elon Musk?
He's trying for sure.
Oh, why?
He's trying.
Maybe have to
For
get the
sure.
money first.
But
and
actually,
then
there's
you
a
propagate.
theory saying like throughout man's life, because he tried to spread its
Yeah.
its gene
Yeah.
as much as he could.
Okay.
It's almost
Animal.
like built into
Yeah.
to its gene and brain, right?
Yeah. But
Because
how about the
that's
other?
how men like in the younger age, all they think about it's that, right?
Yeah.
So how do that? Maybe subconsciously they
But
don't,
our friend
they don't
is-
know what they're doing.
our
But
friend
in fact,
is not
that's what
young
it's
anymore,
doing.
though.
Because it almost like as humans is no different
Yeah.
than anything going on in the nature, right?
Yeah.
It's just like the flower.
Yeah.
You plant a flower when it grow, and at a certain point it blossom, right?
Mm.
So that's why he's trying to, showcase its beauty, and that in fact that is
Yeah.
is genital, right?
Yeah.
And then the bee's gonna come and then like fertilize. It's like,
I think you're making an excuse for our friend, because
well, I don't know, right?
you know
But-
you can't keep let's say as you grow older, right? We realize that okay, you need to have resources and the money to do all these things, and I get it, right? There's sometimes the urge is there, but then you almost have to what do you call it?
So-
Manage the urge.
Okay, so what you're saying is he does not think it through, or he does not do it consciously.
Yeah, yeah. let's-
It's driven by animal nature.
Sure, and even with Elon Musk, right? Look at
Who's to say he's not also driven by animal nature?
is.
He's just very capable guy.
He is.
Right? He
But-
has all the resources to do whatever he
But
wants.
what about the effect of having Elon Musk propagating, having kids with all these women, and some of these kids are not happy, right? Think, oh, I don't look at Elon Musk as my
Because
father.
we cannot, as a parents, we cannot guarantee our kids to be happy. Because all we, at that point, if we want to propagate,
Yeah.
is that, oh, I just want to propagate the next generation.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee
Yeah.
that the next generation will turn out to be exactly the way that you want.
But
there's no
clearly,
control over that.
Elon Musk can't handle all those kids. He can't give them all his undivided
But all he can
attention.
think about is that I have the resort, I have the money
Yeah.
to give you, to provide you a good environment.
But is that a good thing? You have so many broken.
Who's to say? Who's to say? Because it's just that things turn out not the way that he think. So that we think, oh yeah, that's bad. Sure, right? But what I'm saying is that he has no control over how things develop after the child's birth.
Well, I think his goal he achieved already. Okay, have the kid, and then he doesn't care about after that.
I don't know if he doesn't care, but actually he's actually very good. Like he take one of his son to the
Yeah.
White House to Trump's
Sure.
estate, right?
Yeah.
Like he's seems like a very good father, a very responsible one.
To all of his children.
I don't know to all, but maybe he has some favorite child. Like, oh, maybe this one is smart.
Okay.
Maybe this one's good looking. Whatever reason, right? He
Yeah.
just favored that child,
Yeah.
and he give him more attention.
Is it okay to have a favorite child?
That's another talk for another
Yeah, okay,
podcast.
we'll do that. Yeah,
Yes,
we'll take
yes.
too long.
So-
Okay, the next thing we're gonna talk about is drones because I know you have to pick up your dad, right? And some of these can
Yeah,
go quite
oh,
long.
the drones. Because I think this topic will never get finished because it's actually
No,
very
it's,
very
to me it's very
profound.
easy.
Yeah.
I told you before. I think
So you think it's just the environmental, like it actually decides like okay, it's okay for people here to do this and it's okay for people to do that. But as long as we accept that, but then underneath we're all human. Is our human biological it's so flexible that such that we can adapt to any environment and develop all sorts of way to cope or to live in that environment.
but what could the drones be?
Oh, you're talking about the drone.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
talking
talking-
about like
No, I'm like with the drones, whether it's military, government, corporate, aliens
Yeah.
coming from the sea, what does it matter? Because it's already out there, and then we can't control what happened.
But I think ultimately, because I think this whole drone thing just started in the U.S., it's actually very strange. It's only kind of like it happened in the U.S., but not any other country, like Canada, for example.
But why get so stressed out over it until we know
Oh,
more?
stress out means we watched those movies before, right?
Yeah, but
like
we need more information.
Like the aliens come and kill
No.
everybody. They attack the White House. Actually, they bombed the White House. And
But we
then
need
that-
more information.
That's disaster. And just
No.
because I think there's a fear already created among human, right? We watch like there's a lot of alien movies, right? Like Tom Cruise has that one, right? The alien invade
Sure.
Earth and then they kill everybody,
Yeah.
like this few other one, right?
But my point is, why get so in a panic until we have more information? Everyone wants to call. What do you think about
No,
the drones?
like I
What do
said,
you think
because
about
the
this?
fears are already planted inside your head. That's why when you see this
Not
thing,
my head.
you're freaking out. Yeah, but not your head.
I'm
Maybe
waiting.
your brother.
If something happens and then all of a sudden these drones like I don't know exploded with nuclear fallout, then I'm gonna.
Yeah, then you panic, right?
But
It's
right
like, oh,
now
we're
there's
doomed.
nothing to panic about because why stress? Why stress myself out about something that hasn't happened yet?
Where? Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it.
All right. Oh, we might have to cut it short.
Yes, yes. So the drone, we have to talk about that next
We'll
time.
talk about it next time. But anyway, that's it. Just really briefly because I've been bothered about everyone's calling me about this and what do you think? What do you think? And I said I don't know what to think
No, I
until
think
I get
yeah,
more information.
It depends. Some people are more sensitive, right? Like they kind of freak out this whole incident because I think at this stage we don't have any concrete evidence
Yeah.
that it's the alien or
Yeah.
it's gonna do harm to mankind or what it is. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it's under contained then we're good, right?
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that it only happened in the U.S. in such a large scale, right? Because it become more evident that it's like the public now taking a lot of people taking that video. It's like what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think we should get an answer, in a couple of weeks.
Well, okay,
And
so
what
I
it
don't
is.
think
like
it's,
I mean, if there's an invasion from aliens, then I think they should do a better job. Like not just
well, I mean, if it's aliens, why would you choose New Jersey? Why is you
nothing in New Jersey.
is
right?
is the U.S. that important that the aliens say,
Could
hey, we
be,
need to
could be
appear?
because maybe this is like some special armed force and labs. Maybe they
Why not
develop
China?
this.
China's
Well,
also
I
powerful.
think there also some place in China. Like, remember that the drone over the airport, it got shut down for like half a day,
Okay.
right? It also happened in China, but maybe the news is not reported as much, and then we don't have an official report on that. So and things just ended that way,
Yeah.
right?
Because I think even when COVID happened, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I need more information, but I'm not gonna run out to, get any sort of shot or inject myself with bleach or some crazy stuff, right?
When you're desperate, right? Like people in India drinking cow urine and all kind
Yeah.
of
But
treatment. So,
but like
we don't.
anything, you always need more information. I don't understand this day and age where people get so hyper panicked and then they jump the gun.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of the reasons that people have so much mental health problem, right? Oh, what?
Oh,
See, aliens is coming.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, we better stop.
But for you, why? Like I know when we when something happens, right? We talk about these things like the drones or whatever. But you're a smart guy, so sometimes I'm just it's frustrating. When like you have all these conspiracy theories.
No,
and-
because I see things differently and I experience things differently. Then that's why I see the things that you don't see. Maybe you see the thing that I don't see.
Yeah.
Right. So that's normal and it's logical.
but that's my character. I'm slow to react because I want to
Right.
I want to understand what's
Yeah,
happening
some people
first.
are more sensitive. When they see one thing, they actually thought about like 10 other things already. That's how their mind works.
That's stressful, man.
It is just like you're playing chess, right? Like in Chinese chess,
Yeah.
you have to predict 10 move ahead.
Yeah.
Then you can win. If you like only predict the next move, you're going to be lose in no time. If you're against a good
Yeah.
player,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah.
So see, that's why some people it's almost an instinct.
Yeah.
To see one thing, they already think about 10 other things.
But that's
It's very.
it's
not
a balance
stressful.
between
To them, it's natural.
It's a balance between over analyzing and making some
Sure,
decision. Because
sure,
sometimes you could play
sure.
chess and you could sit there and looking at all these scenarios and be paralyzed about what move to make next.
Yeah, so that's what makes a good player, right? Because to them, it's natural.
Yeah.
No sweat at all.
Yeah.
They are natural doing that. Like when they see this, just like those math genius, right? They look at the one math question, they already figure out, and it's very, how to say, good way to solve the problem. You could never imagine that solution in your life, but they do see just by a glance,
Okay.
right? That's how they do it.
Yeah.
Because almost like a built-in feature for them. For us, it's like holy shit! Wow, how could I not think of that?
Yeah.
Because you simply don't have the same, I don't know, level intelligence or the way that you build differently or the way the brain function differently. I don't know.
But look at the
But it is how it is.
Look at
Things
the-
that we don't understand, but then it is.
Look at the
like
whole
that.
drone thing. So like it happened. Then you have everybody going crazy about something just like a drone. It's like if I don't know, you had something simple happen and then everyone overthinks it and all it was just drones.
Yeah, so let's put it that way. Let's say someone actually, going to work day in and day out, never heard of this drone thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yet here, you and me making a big fuss about that,
Yeah.
right? So maybe later on it turns out to be some kind of prank, right?
Yeah, okay.
So to those people never
example,
even heard
yeah.
of it,
Yeah, yeah,
then it's almost like nothing happened. It is
Yeah.
because they never heard of it.
yeah.
There's a lot of things maybe go on in this world
Yeah.
that could cause a lot of stress and lots of fallout,
Overreacting.
overreacting.
Yes.
And if So to them, it's almost like, why you reacting? You're almost like reacting for nothing,
Yeah. You
right?
stress yourself out
To me,
over
it's
nothing.
almost like nothing happened. It is nothing happened. They simply don't even know such things happened to them in their universe, in their own little universe.
Yeah.
This never happened.
Yeah. And I'm not saying we shouldn't react. I think we can't overreact. We need more information. So when you were talking about the sea, aliens or something like that, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
how can we even go that far?
No, see,
right?
see, that's the beauty of human brain imagination, right? Like AI, I don't know because I think they're also talking about does
But
AI
Kevin,
has the ability
let's
to
say, let's
imagine
say
it.
I'm a 10-year-old and you're telling me aliens are coming from the underwater. I'm going crazy because I'm thinking we're gonna
Yes,
die.
because you
That's
don't
not
have
good.
enough information to process this information.
I got my only information came from you.
Yes, exactly. But then
Right.
you're only 10 years old. You don't have enough
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
in you already to process this information.
Yeah. But
That
as
means your mind. That means in your mind is not sophisticated enough to process this information.
as a 52
That's why
year
you're
old,
scary. You shitless.
that's a 52-year-old listened to Kevin. I was like, yeah, you're fucking crazy, man.
No, yeah, you can say I'm fucking crazy. So because I think of lots of things because maybe my imagination, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, aliens coming, and
Yeah.
then we're doomed.
I want to
And then-
believe it too. That sounds cool, but I kind of think, okay, am I gonna start?
Yeah, so maybe you're just running around scaring,
Get
like,
my gun and
scary
ready
chickens
to-
like for nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, it's a prank.
Yeah.
It's like you think, oh shit.
But that's how those things get started. Where let's say Trump when he's talking about China and whatever, and then people get crazy about and start attacking Chinese people for no reason, right?
Oh yeah, that always because
So-
there are always people like that.
But that's
out
why
there,
I'm
right?
saying you can't overreact. We have to kind of like this generation and
No, because you don't know. That's why.
don't know.
But
about
what if it turned out to be true? Like it is something extraordinary.
then
gonna
I deal
happen.
with it at that
right?
time though.
So okay, so say for example,
don't know
you were in
either.
the stock market, right? Something happened. You don't overreact, like, and then you end up losing a lot of money, right?
But if
because you simply don't react because that's a sign of
But if you
things
do
going down.
overreact, you can lose a lot of money too.
There's always pros and cons about one action.
That's why you have to
React
stay,
or no overreact.
That's
It's
why
just-
you have
it's
to
just-
stay measured. Like
because I think all those validation comes from the result. If it's turned out to be a good thing, then it's okay. I overreact in a good way.
yeah.
But then if it turned out to be a bad consequence, then it's oh shit, why should I overreact? Isn't it? It always
Yeah.
happens that way.
But my
Right?
case
Because when you are reacting, you don't
Yeah.
know what's
Yeah.
the consequence is going to be.
But my case is not to do nothing. But my case is
Yes,
to not
because
overreact.
That's actually one way to deal with that.
Yeah.
To deal with any situation.
Yeah.
When anything happened, you just stay calm. Pretend
Yes.
nothing happened.
You can
just
still act.
just give it a little bit more time for it to develop
Yeah.
and see it and whatever.
Yeah.
That's actually one way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the only way. Overreacting is another way.
Exactly. So stay calm.
Right?
Yeah. You know what? That's
So
a
it's your
very-
choice. It's
that's
your
a-
choice.
That's a good point because when I had my accident and
Yes.
I woke up and
Yeah.
I didn't overreact. I didn't panic.
You didn't panic.
I saw the fire, but also I can't do nothing. Otherwise, I'm going to die.
I know because if you panic in that situation, you're probably not gonna do good for yourself. You probably
Exactly.
couldn't even get out of the vehicle.
Exactly.
Right? If you panic, like, oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
But
right?
that's kind of like my life principle. Like I try not to overreact. I don't do nothing, but I just have some focused action, and I think that's how it got through me through a lot of life. I'm not saying everyone has to be the same. Some people overreact, and I get it, right?
Okay,
I mean,
but I think you just touch on another topic about life. Like, how should we perceive it life?
everyone's different.
Everyone is different.
Yeah.
Because what you talk about is that what kind of software you should have in your head in terms of
When you say should, it automatically means there's a right way. I don't know that
no
there's a
no
right way.
should means that you think because that's yes it depends on your ability as well. Because I think there's no right or wrong, or it's very difficult to say that what's right or wrong unless if there's a true God out there and then they tell you, hey Peter, you should think this way, you should have this mindset, you should have that mindset, but no such thing. It's also giving you a free will, like whatever it is, it depends on so many factors for you to be a human being, to have a mind, to have a proper mind. Oh, I don't know what that is, but then it is an ongoing thing, right? Doesn't matter if you take it or not. but it is you are who you are right now.
Yeah.
I am who I am right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just that life goes on without knowing what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But somehow, yes, something is gonna happen, and some people can say, "Hey, I can predict what's gonna happen." So a lot of these things going on.
Okay,
Right.
don't get me started about predictions and prophecy because
Yeah,
you know
we
how
can
I
talk
feel.
about that
one.
another
That would be
podcast.
like 5 hours. 'Cause
Yes,
I
but anyways, I need to go pick up my dad. So
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's what I need to do right now.
but don't overreact.
Well, I'm not gonna freak out.
Okay,
All right.
Kevin, this was good again.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
let me stop the stream.